Diva Search 2004 sort of kicked off in the summer, I guess, pretty much, or, late spring. I think it was the summer. How could WWE take beautiful women prancing around in bikinis and make it the worst segment that the fans, mostly male, booed every single week? Well, unsurprisingly, they managed it. This also was, unsurprisingly, John Laurinaitis' maybe first act after taking over from Jim Ross's WWE Vice President of Talent Relations. WWE Director Kevin Dunn was quoted before the Diva Search actually happened on Raw as a weekly segment. He claimed that the Diva Search would be classy. Here's the quote. "We want someone we can put on a pedestal here who can represent the WWE in a classy, I wouldn't say sophisticated, but a classy, nice manner. Each week, professional models would engage in awful skits and competitions and horrible promos on each other for a chance to win $250,000. Okay, so you know why I'm doing that in air quotes, don't you, Stevie?
Yeah, because it's $1,000 for $250-year contract.
Right. Basically it.
It's the Maven Tough Enough
Basically
deal.
it, yeah. I figured that's what was going on. So anyway, skits included seducing Kamala, selling ice cream, arm wrestling, wrestling in Chile, I guess, boxing with giant gloves on, a pie-eating contest with The Rock, who couldn't make that segment good. And he hadn't been seen in months as well. People were really happy to have him back, and that's how they used him. And then it also featured Christy Hemme sitting on a pie because her, quote, butt was hungry. I'm pretty sure there was a South Park episode based on that as well. There was Diss the Diva, which involved the women all ganging up on Carmella and calling her a skank and a whore who was sleeping with people in WWE to get ahead. Some of the quotes, which you might want to bleep, Chris, include, I've written cock, but it's actually cock-sucking gutter sluts. And from Amy Weber to Carmella again, you don't have any respect for the WWE. You don't know shit about wrestling. Having a cock in your mouth has nothing to do with wrestling, bitch. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of bleeping there. But before we get to the notable women, do you remember the issue at SummerSlam 2004 when the Diva Search contestants beat the actual WWE women at Dodgeball? And there was a massive issue over it.
Yes, I do. And I remember, I think they took Ivory to Wrestler's Court for that, correct? Hey, I want to say something. Was this not a cry for help from Vince McMahon, but was this showing how many computer brains that this maniac had, that these things this potentially was 19 NDAs right here, this entire Diva Search. Do you think this is a peek into the mind of Vince
there's
McMahon?
A wine called 19 Crimes. That might as well be Vince's biography at this point.
19 in parentheses if you're lucky, or that I
19
know
NDAs.
of, or that we know of. No, but I'm looking at this and like you're humiliating these women in public, and this is very much sounds like a lot what we're seeing with the Janelle Grant type stuff off and on.
You never turned up to the Wrestlers Court things, did you? Did you avoid them?
No, I didn't even know. I was in the concourse playing video games.
Fair enough then. I'm going to give you some of the notable names that were in. Eventual winner Christy Hemme. A quick word on some of the names I'm going to give. But Christy Hemme, she always seemed, at least on TV, she seemed like an actually really nice person.
Very nice, very nice. I got to know her a little better in TNA, and she was always very nice. And I'm sure the butt-hungry pie-eating thing was just to stand out as something we're still talking about in 2025.
Next name is apparently the objects of everyone's scorn was Carmella de Cesar. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she wrestled or at least briefly appeared at Taboo Tuesday 2004 and then released. I remember that. It was like a pillow fight or something like that, but they threw her in.
Was this Carmella that was married to Jeff Garcia, the football player?
I can look.
I believe that this Carmella was the person that was dating and eventually married Jeff Garcia. He was a quarterback in the NFL. So I'm looking. I didn't know her last name. I just remember a Carmella.
Jeff Garcia, yeah. Well done.
Okay. Not today, CTE.
So she was in for a very short amount of time, so I don't know if there's any real stories about her. The next name is Amy Weber. Now, there is a story with her. She became a member of JBL's cabinet, but was fired after complaining about WWE's frat house environment. Would you believe?
A total shock. I don't even know anything about this. I was in the concourse the whole time.
So this is actually off of Wikipedia. The quote's actually there. She claimed she was bullied by the likes of Edge and Randy Orton, basically for being a Diva Search person and not really knowing what's going on, and said the following: "So when I got to Alaska, Shane McMahon was there. We were all getting our bags, and I was done. I just felt like I couldn't continue to be in an environment where people had no respect for me. They had their reasons, but I don't think taking 2 ibuprofen is a reason for someone to call you names, try to physically harm you, and then pour a drink in your face." So that's the story.
I'm not familiar with the pouring the drink in the face and the 2 ibuprofens, but this is where the real world meets the wrestling bubble, by the way. We talked about this, and then people in the wrestling world will say, well, she had a bad attitude and she couldn't take it. And but that these people you brought in for the Diva Search were not divas on the roster. They were models that were found in a magazine. But hey, look at this one, Vince. This looks good.
What do you mean? You can't take relentless bullying? What do you mean? It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. I mean, how dare you not let us treat you like crap? But that's the wrestling business. There's been, dude, I'll give you a preview. The number one question I was asked when they put the dress and the wig on me during this time, what do you think it was? I think I've told you already.
What was your punishment? What did you do?
No, what did you
Yeah.
do? What did you do?
I'm sorry,
wrong?
I said that badly. Yeah, what did you do to deserve this punishment is what I meant.
Well, there you go. So Amy Weber, how dare you call us out and say that we're treating you like crap? Now we're going to treat you like crap because you said we treated you like crap. Welcome to wrestling, everybody.
Next name, Joy Giovanni. She stuck around for a year. She made several more appearances after the fact between the late 2000s and late 2010s as well in WWE. So, any stories about Joy, I guess?
No, when it came to all this stuff, it was a completely different kind of segment. And I had my own battles to fight, by the way, as we just talked about. So for all I know, I think I might have been hiding out for all this because I would say, if they see me anywhere near the Divas, especially in the dress and the wig, no, that's going to be a whole another level of being made fun of, even by civilians, people that aren't in the wrestling business.
The next name, very familiar to everybody in wrestling, I'm sure, Maria Kanellis. She actually stuck with the business and is still associated with it. So it's good to know that at least one person sort of made a real proper career out of pro wrestling, and she really loves it.
And Maria's an awesome girl. She's a nice girl. She's super nice. But once again, this is a girl, from what I can remember, a couple times that stood up for her business with WWE. And then what did you do wrong, Maria? I can't think of the exact things, but just didn't want to be treated a certain way. And they were pissed at, they get so pissed off if you don't allow them to do what they want to do. And when you complain about it, it's mystifying. Watch Shawshank Redemption. That might explain a few things.
I think it does. I probably didn't do it. Not that it was her fault, of course, but she played a ditzy character on television, at least initially, as well. So I suspect that a lot of people would have just taken her for that character as well. So that wouldn't have done her any favors, I guess, with some of the people in the locker room.
Yeah, but she was anything but that. And that probably got her heat. Like, how dare you not be stupid?
One more name to mention, Michelle McCool. Eliminated in 7th place, but ended up having the biggest WWE career as she won the WWE Divas title and went on to marry The Undertaker and then somehow get a WWE Hall of Fame induction in 2025. I will never get over that one.
It's fine. It's a wrestling business. It's subjective. Everybody works hard. The money and the miles are the same. Everybody suffers. Everybody pays their dues. Michelle's bumps, they hurt every bit as much as Undertaker's or Cena or anybody else, but it's all up to somebody to say, yeah. I mean, I'm still so flabbergasted Triple H got in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how that happened.
Well, he had no idea,
It was such a shock. What's this big building doing here? I didn't see it being constructed for 5 years.
Ivory on the Divas contest. This is why I love Ivory. One of the few people I really want to have in WSI, never got to speak to her. This was while the contest was still happening, she gave this quote. The Raw Divas are in a bad spot right now. It seems like as hard as we work to bring integrity and interest into the women's division, the WWE creative team, or whoever the mystery people are who make rotten decisions in storylines, etc., work against us. The Diva search is unentertaining, unimaginative, and a total waste of what each of the contestants could probably bring to our program. Instead of a contest/reality show, WWE is giving us Jackass meets Top Model. Oh, what a quote. Well done.
Yeah. I'm glad that WWE didn't really read that quote because I just had my life flash before my eyes and say, let's put 4 people that we don't like together in dresses and wigs and call them the mystery people. But yeah, I mean, this is after the Ivory. And, let's think about it. Ivory and I did the WrestleMania 17 match with China, and that whole angle with China made the women look different with China, Ivory, all the other ones. Then there was another kind of renaissance period with Ivory being involved, Jazz, Molly Holly, Trish Stratus, Victoria, all these different things. This is where you go after all that. So the girls had to be like, maybe even just saying to themselves, I'm out the first chance I get if this is what this company, and Ivory would be the one to say, no, I'm not doing that. And kept her job. I give her credit. She just spoke her mind all the time. She's the one to call me fat and got me to lose all the weight. So she's always been a brutal straight shooter, which the business absolutely hates.
Yeah, well, she'd be let go a year later. Let go. The company WWE opted not to renew her contract. Anything else to say about the WWE Diva search? I mean, was it a curtain sellout or, a monitor sellout in the back to watch just how ridiculous this all went? Or was it just everyone hated it? What did everyone think in the back is what I'm saying.
It did. Yeah, it could definitely be a monitor sellout. I definitely believe that, but I wasn't anywhere near it. I was just trying to plan my escape route after Heat or Velocity.
So, one more as well. Were there any wrestlers that you dare name that immediately made a beeline and were sniffing around the Diva search contestants?
Not that I saw. I would assume the answer is 100% yes, that there were some, and maybe maybe saying no to them was part of the heat for some of them. That's just my guess and my speculation. But if you're a famous wrestler and you can pretty much get anybody you want, and somebody says no to you, that's probably not a good thing for your ego. So I don't know. And I don't know if there's any edict or talent meeting. I'm assuming the usual suspects that the company knew about, that management knew about, they had already pulled them into the office before any of these girls walked into a building and said, hey, don't do it. Because the office did do that sometimes, because beyond whatever it was with the frat house environment, the office still had to worry about these girls are completely clueless about the wrestling business, but we don't want a lawsuit. We don't want a sexual harassment case or a sexual assault case. Don't think they weren't aware of all that stuff, because they were. Vince had tons of computer brains working on this, trying to figure it out.
Well, apparently Carmella had done something, because every single one of the Diva Search contestants zoned on her and said the exact same thing. So I'm wondering if she had made it known or some rumor had got out there that she was trying to, pardon the pun, get ahead in the contest kind of thing.
I have no idea. It wasn't with me. That's all I can guarantee you.